Fear is a universal emotion, something that every human experiences at some point in life, yet most people misunderstand fear. They treat it as a signal to stop, to retreat, to avoid. But fear, in its truest sense, is not your enemy. It is a messenger. It tells you where your growth edges are, where your comfort zone ends, and where your courage is being called upon. The first step in becoming fearless is to redefine your relationship with fear itself. Imagine fear as a dark forest. You stand at the edge, uncertain, hesitant, imagining dangers lurking behind every tree. Most people stop at the edge, frozen by the unknown. But the fearless do something different. They step into the forest with curiosity, not dread. They do not deny the presence of fear. They acknowledge it, study it, and then walk forward. When you understand fear, you realize it is not a wall, it is a doorway. Many of us are conditioned to fear failure, rejection, judgment, and the unknown. From childhood, we are taught to avoid mistakes and seek comfort. Society reinforces this with phrases like, "Be careful, don't take risks, and what if it goes wrong?" Over time, these warnings build invisible chains, limiting our potential, but the fearless know that these warnings are not commandments. They are suggestions from a mind that is trying to protect, not empower. True fearlessness comes when you recognize that fear exists to guide, not paralyze you. Let us dive deeper. Fear often manifests as a story in your mind. You imagine scenarios of failure, humiliation, or loss. Your body reacts with tension, your heart races, your stomach knots. This is a primal response, a survival mechanism designed to protect you from real physical danger. But here's the truth. Most fears we face today are not physical, they are psychological. The lion in the forest is no longer real. The lion is in your imagination. And when you confront these imagined lions, when you challenge your mind's stories, you begin to see that fear is not as powerful as it seems. Becoming fearless starts with observation. Watch your fear. Notice what triggers it. Is it public speaking, taking a new job, starting a business, or confronting someone? Notice how it feels in your body. Most importantly, notice the thoughts that accompany it. The moment you observe fear without judgment, its grip starts to loosen. You realize that you are not fear, you are the observer of fear, and the observer always holds more power than the thing being observed. Another essential principle is small, consistent exposure. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in spite of it. Every time you confront a small fear, you expand your comfort zone. It could be as simple as starting a conversation with a stranger, trying a new activity, or speaking your truth. Each time you face fear, it loses a bit of its control over you. Fear is like a shadow. It disappears when you shine light on it, and action is the light. Meditation and mindfulness are also critical tools. When you quiet the mind, you notice that fear is often based on projections of the future, stories that have not yet happened. By grounding yourself in the present moment, you separate reality from imagination. You learn that the moment you are in is safe, even if your mind predicts danger. Fear cannot exist fully in the present because it feeds on what-ifs. Presence is a superpower. Fearless people embrace uncertainty. They understand that life is unpredictable and control is an illusion. Instead of resisting uncertainty, they flow with it. They focus on what they can control, their actions, their decisions, their mindset, and let go of the rest. Fear often grows when we cling to outcomes, when we demand guarantees. By accepting uncertainty, you liberate yourself from fear. You understand that life unfolds moment by moment, and your power lies in how you respond. Finally, remember that fearlessness is a skill, not a trait. It is built through repeated practice, reflection, and courage. The more you engage with your fears, the stronger you become. Each challenge you face, is a stepping stone. Each setback, a teacher. Fearless living is not about living without fear. It is about living with fear as your companion, not your master. So, today, make a commitment. The next time fear appears, greet it, observe it, learn from it, and then take one step forward, however small it may be. With each step, your courage grows. With each step, your fear shrinks. And one day you will look back and realize that the forest you once feared has become the playground of your fearless life. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is the compass. Fear is the call to action. And when you answer it, you unlock a life that most people only dream about, a life of power, freedom, and true fearlessness. Becoming fearless is not about living without fear. It is about embracing fear and moving forward, regardless of it. Courage is not a sudden explosion of heroism. It is built daily, deliberately, through small yet consistent actions. In this keynote, we will explore practical strategies you can apply immediately to cultivate fearlessness in every area of your life. The first strategy is redefining failure. Most people fear failure because they equate it with personal inadequacy. They see mistakes as proof that they are not enough. But fearless people see failure differently. They see it as feedback, a learning opportunity, and a necessary step toward growth. Each failure teaches you something valuable about yourself, your approach, or the world. When you redefine failure in this way, fear loses its grip. Fear exists when you attach your identity to outcomes. Detach yourself from outcomes, and you act with boldness, creativity, and resilience. Next, embrace discomfort deliberately. Growth and fearlessness live outside the comfort zone. Comfort is not the enemy. It is stagnation in disguise. To cultivate fearlessness, you must push your limits regularly. Start with small, deliberate challenges. Speak in front of a group if public speaking terrifies you. Take on a project at work that scares you. Try something completely new, a sport, an art, a social activity. Every deliberate encounter with discomfort strengthens your courage muscles. Over time, what once seemed intimidating becomes routine, and fear shrinks. Another powerful strategy is visualization and mental rehearsal. Fear is often fueled by uncertainty. The mind imagines worst-case scenarios. By practicing visualization, you train your mind to respond confidently under pressure. Close your eyes and imagine yourself facing your fear successfully. See yourself speaking with confidence, acting decisively, or stepping into the unknown without hesitation. Engage all your senses. Feel the emotions, hear the sounds, notice the details. Your brain begins to create neural pathways that prepare you for real-life challenges. Fear diminishes when the mind knows what to expect and has rehearsed victory. Mindfulness and presence are equally crucial. Fear thrives on projections of the future, on what-ifs and imagined catastrophes. By anchoring yourself in the present moment, you reduce fear's power. Meditation, breathing exercises, or simple mindfulness techniques help you observe fear without judgment. When fear arises, label it, this is fear, and it is temporary. Notice the sensations in your body, tight chest, racing heart, shallow breath, without letting them dictate your actions. Awareness creates distance between you and fear, and in that distance you find freedom. Preparation and knowledge are underestimated tools against fear. Often, fear stems from feeling unprepared or uncertain. Whether it is a career challenge, a personal goal, or a public task, preparation reduces fear by increasing confidence. Study the situation, practice your skills, and plan your steps. Knowledge empowers you to act decisively and diminishes the unknown that fuels fear. Remember, courage is not blind, it is informed action. Another key strategy is building resilience through incremental exposure. Fearlessness is a skill, not a trait you are born with. You cultivate it through repeated practice. Identify one fear at a time and confront it progressively. If you fear speaking up in meetings, start by voicing small opinions, then gradually lead discussions. If you fear confrontation, begin with minor disagreements and work up to significant conversations. Each successful exposure strengthens your inner confidence. Fear diminishes when repeatedly faced and overcome. Surround yourself with fearless influences. The people you spend time with shape your mindset. Seek mentors, friends, and communities that embody courage, growth, and resilience. Learn from their actions, their stories, and their attitudes. Observing courage in others teaches you that fear can be managed. Toxic or overly cautious environments reinforce fear. Choose your influences wisely. They will either amplify your fears or strengthen your courage. Another overlooked strategy is physical mastery. Your body and mind are interconnected. Fear creates tension, shallow breathing, and adrenaline spikes. Regular exercise, martial arts, yoga, or even simple breathwork helps regulate your nervous system. A strong, disciplined body supports a fearless mind. When you feel physically capable, you naturally feel mentally empowered. You learn that you can endure challenges, control your responses, and act decisively even under pressure. Affirmations and self-talk also play a vital role. Fear often grows from negative internal dialogue. I can't do this. What if I fail? I'm not enough. Fearless individuals replace these thoughts with empowering affirmations. I am capable. I can handle whatever comes. I grow through challenges. Your words shape your reality. Consistent positive self-talk rewires your brain to anticipate courage, resilience, and success instead of fear. Finally, embrace the unknown as a playground. Fearless people do not resist uncertainty. They explore it. Life is unpredictable, and control is limited. Rather than fearing the unknown, approach it with curiosity and excitement. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow through this challenge? When the unknown becomes an opportunity instead of a threat, fear loses its power. Fearlessness is not about certainty. It is about confidence in your ability to adapt, overcome, and thrive no matter what happens. In conclusion, becoming fearless is a journey, not a destination. It is cultivated through deliberate practice, self-awareness, and consistent action. Fear is not something to eliminate, it is something to understand, embrace, and transcend. By redefining failure, embracing discomfort, practicing mindfulness, preparing thoroughly, facing fears incrementally, surrounding yourself with courage, mastering your body, controlling your self-talk, and welcoming the unknown, you create an unshakable inner strength. Remember this: every time you act despite fear, your courage grows. Every challenge you face becomes a stepping stone toward mastery. Fear is not a wall. It is a teacher, a guide, and a compass. The more you engage with it consciously, the more fearless you become. So today, commit to one courageous action. Face one fear, however small. Step into discomfort. Speak your truth. Move forward even when your heart races. Each act of bravery compounds. Each step forward reshapes your reality. Fearlessness is not an absence of fear. It is a presence of courage. And when courage becomes your constant companion, nothing can hold you back. Fear is one of the most powerful forces in the human experience. It can either restrain you, keeping you trapped in a life of limitation and regret, or it can be harnessed to propel you toward extraordinary achievements. The truth is, fear itself is not the problem, it is how you respond to it. Fearless living is not merely a state of mind, it is a way of life, a commitment to pursue your highest potential, regardless of uncertainty, obstacles, or judgment. When you choose to become fearless, your life transforms in ways that many only dream about. The first transformation occurs within your mindset. Fear limits your perception. When you are controlled by fear, your mind narrows. You see only obstacles, risks, and potential failures. Your focus becomes rigid, and opportunities often pass unnoticed. But fearlessness expands your mental horizons. When fear is acknowledged, but not obeyed, your mind opens to creativity, innovation, and new perspectives. You begin to see possibilities instead of problems, opportunities instead of obstacles. Fearlessness shifts your inner narrative from "I can't" to "I will find a way." This is not wishful thinking. It is the disciplined power of the mind that refuses to be imprisoned by imagined threats. Fearlessness also transforms your confidence. Confidence is not arrogance. It is the quiet certainty that you can handle whatever comes your way. Fearless people do not wait for guarantees. They trust themselves. Every time you confront a fear, whether it is speaking up, starting a new venture, or taking a risk in a relationship, your confidence grows. The world begins to respond differently because you respond differently. People naturally respect those who act with courage, decisiveness, and clarity. Fearless action creates momentum. It builds a reputation, not for perfection but for bravery and consistency. One of the most profound transformations fearlessness brings is in your decision-making and action. Fear slows you down. It keeps you stuck in analysis, overthinking, and hesitation. But fearless individuals make decisions decisively, act boldly, and adjust as they go. They understand that clarity emerges through action, not endless contemplation. The first step may be uncertain, but taking it is what creates results. Every action taken in the face of fear strengthens your ability to navigate life's complexities. Fearlessness turns hesitation into progress and indecision into mastery. Fearlessness profoundly impacts your relationships and communication. When you are fearless, you express your truth without needing validation or approval. You set boundaries confidently, speak your needs, and confront challenges with clarity and calm. Fearless communication inspires trust and respect in others. It attracts people who are aligned with your values and repels those who seek to manipulate or undermine you. By being fearless in your interactions, you cultivate authentic relationships that empower rather than drain you. Fearlessness allows you to love fully, connect deeply, and engage in life without reservation. Your career and personal achievements also benefit dramatically from fearlessness. Most people allow fear to dictate the trajectory of their professional and personal lives. They avoid promotions, new ventures, or creative risks because of fear of failure or rejection. Fearless people approach challenges with a mindset of growth and possibility. They innovate, take calculated risks, and embrace responsibility. Even when failures occur, they see them as lessons rather than setbacks. Fearlessness creates a cycle of action, learning, and growth that accelerates progress exponentially. It allows you to operate at your highest potential, where others may hesitate or remain stagnant. Fearlessness also transforms your relationship with discomfort and uncertainty. Life is unpredictable. Circumstances change, relationships evolve, and unforeseen challenges arise. Fearless individuals do not resist change. They embrace it. They understand that comfort is temporary and that true growth lies beyond it. By learning to welcome discomfort, you develop resilience, adaptability, and inner strength. Life becomes a series of opportunities rather than a series of threats. You begin to see challenges as playgrounds for mastery rather than obstacles to survival. This perspective radically shifts the way you experience life, allowing you to thrive even in adversity. Another transformation fearlessness brings is in emotional freedom. Fear often binds you to past regrets, anxieties, and self-doubt. It creates invisible chains that limit joy, peace, and fulfillment. Fearless living requires emotional honesty. You confront your insecurities, acknowledge your vulnerabilities, and release attachments to imagined outcomes. This practice does not make you reckless, it makes you free. Free to pursue your dreams, free to express yourself, and free to engage fully with life. When you are fearless, you do not suppress your emotions or hide from them. You experience life fully and authentically with courage as your anchor. Fearlessness also enables impact and influence. When you act fearlessly, you inspire others. Your courage becomes contagious. People begin to see what is possible because you demonstrate it. Leaders, innovators, and change-makers are not fearless because they lack fear. They are fearless because they choose action over avoidance. The world needs fearless individuals who lead by example, who dare to take bold steps in service of a greater purpose. By embracing fearlessness, you amplify your ability to create positive change, not just for yourself but for everyone around you. Let us not forget the spiritual dimension of fearlessness. True fearlessness aligns with a deep sense of purpose and inner strength. It is a recognition that life's external circumstances cannot dictate your inner peace. When you cultivate courage and face fear with integrity, you connect with a higher sense of self. This is the essence of mastery, the ability to remain steadfast, grounded, and unwavering regardless of what life presents. Fearless living is not only about external achievements, it is about inner liberation, self-mastery, and alignment with your highest potential. The final, perhaps most critical, transformation is time and opportunity. Fear robs you of time. It keeps you waiting, procrastinating, and holding back. Fearless individuals seize opportunities without hesitation. They understand that life rewards those who act decisively, even in uncertainty. By moving beyond fear, you reclaim precious time, accelerate progress, and maximize your impact. Opportunities that would have passed by now become stepping stones toward a fulfilling, extraordinary life. Fearlessness allows you to live intentionally, fully, and without regret. In conclusion, fearlessness is transformative because it liberates the mind, expands confidence, accelerates action, strengthens relationships, amplifies achievement, nurtures resilience, fosters emotional freedom, inspires influence, deepens spiritual alignment, and unlocks time and opportunity. Becoming fearless is not a single act, it is a lifelong commitment to observe fear, understand it, and act courageously anyway. It is a choice to step into life fully, with curiosity, clarity, and courage. Today I invite you to take one fearless step. Speak your truth, pursue a bold goal, face a personal fear, or embrace a new challenge. Each step compounds, creating a life of extraordinary potential. Fear is not the enemy, it is the teacher, the guide, and the catalyst. And when you answer fear with courage, your life transforms in ways you have never imagined. You become a magnet for opportunity, growth, and fulfillment. You unlock your highest potential, and you begin to live not as someone controlled by fear, but as someone who commands their destiny with fearless intention. Fearlessness is not a destination, it is a practice. It is cultivated, reinforced, and strengthened through daily actions, choices, and rituals that align your mind, body, and spirit with courage. To live fearlessly, it is not enough to confront fear occasionally. Fearlessness becomes sustainable only when it is woven into the very fabric of your daily life. This keynote explores the habits, rituals, and disciplines that fearless people integrate into their routines, providing practical guidance for anyone ready to commit to a fearless life. The first daily habit is morning reflection and intention setting. Fearless individuals start their day by grounding themselves in purpose. Before checking phones, emails, or the demands of the outside world, they take a moment to reflect: what kind of person do I want to be today? What challenges will I face? And how will I meet them with courage? This practice aligns your mind with deliberate action rather than reactive behavior. By consciously choosing how you approach your day, you step into life with intention, and fear loses its ability to dictate your actions. Next is daily exposure to discomfort. Fearlessness grows through deliberate practice, and the daily routine is an ideal opportunity to create small, intentional challenges. This might mean speaking up in a meeting, engaging in a difficult conversation, or trying something new outside your comfort zone. The key is consistency. Facing discomfort regularly trains your mind to respond with courage rather than avoidance. Over time, the accumulation of small victories builds unshakable confidence. Remember, fear shrinks when you meet it daily, step by step, habit by habit. Physical discipline and movement are another cornerstone of daily fearlessness. The mind and body are inseparable. A strong, disciplined body supports a fearless mind. Regular exercise, martial arts, yoga, or even brisk walking can strengthen resilience, improve focus, and regulate the nervous system. These practices help you manage the physiological effects of fear, such as adrenaline spikes or racing thoughts. A healthy body is not only a vessel for action, it is an anchor for courage. Fearful thoughts are easier to confront when your body is strong, energized, and capable. Another vital habit is mindfulness and meditation. Fear often arises from projection. The mind imagines catastrophic futures or replays past failures. Mindfulness trains you to observe these thoughts without judgment, creating a space between stimulus and response. Daily meditation, even for a few minutes, allows you to notice fear without being consumed by it. By anchoring yourself in the present moment, you gain clarity, calmness, and control. Fear cannot thrive in the present because it exists primarily in imagined scenarios. Presence is a daily habit that fortifies courage. Journaling and self-reflection are powerful tools for maintaining fearlessness. Each evening, fearless individuals take time to reflect on the day. Where did I act with courage? Where did fear hold me back? What can I learn for tomorrow? Writing these reflections reinforces awareness, accountability, and growth. It also provides a record of progress, evidence that fear has been confronted and overcome repeatedly. Journaling transforms abstract courage into concrete, trackable achievements, strengthening your belief in your own fearlessness. A related habit is affirmations and conscious self-talk. Daily reinforcement of positive, empowering thoughts rewires the brain to anticipate courage rather than fear. Affirmations such as, "I am capable of facing any challenge," or "I step forward even when I am afraid," shape your mindset and internal dialogue. Fear thrives on self-doubt and hesitation, so countering it with deliberate, empowering words is essential. This is a ritual that can be practiced multiple times a day in the mirror, during walks, or before challenging tasks to maintain a fearless mental state. Strategic planning and preparation is another habit that fearless people cultivate daily. Preparation reduces uncertainty and enhances confidence. Each day, fearless individuals clarify priorities, anticipate challenges, and develop action steps. This does not mean obsessing over outcomes or trying to control every variable. Instead, it is about cultivating readiness, resourcefulness, and proactive thinking. Daily preparation transforms fear into calculated action and uncertainty into opportunity. Fearless living also requires intentional social alignment. Surrounding yourself with courageous, growth-oriented people is a daily habit that strengthens your own fearlessness. This might include mentors, peers, or communities who challenge you, inspire you, and model bravery. Avoid habitual interactions that reinforce fear, negativity, or passivity. Who you engage with daily shapes your mindset, values, and energy. Choose influences that amplify courage, and your daily environment becomes a catalyst for fearless living. Learning and skill building is another critical ritual. Fear often arises from feeling inadequate or unprepared. Fearless individuals invest daily in expanding their knowledge and capabilities. This can be through reading, skill practice, or experiential learning. Even small, consistent learning sessions compound over time, reducing fear and increasing competence. When you face challenges knowing you have invested in growth daily, fear diminishes because preparation and mastery replace doubt and hesitation. Another subtle but impactful daily habit is gratitude and perspective. Fear often magnifies problems and narrows your focus. Taking time daily to acknowledge what is working, what you have accomplished, and what is possible shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude helps you recognize the resources, support, and opportunities available to you, empowering you to face challenges boldly. Fear thrives in scarcity. Gratitude dismantles it by expanding your awareness of strength and potential. Finally, reflection on purpose and vision solidifies fearlessness. Daily rituals that connect you to your larger goals, mission, and values provide a compass for action. Fear is less compelling when your vision for life is clear and compelling. Each day, remind yourself why you do, what you are building, and who you are becoming. Purpose fuels courage, giving fearless action meaning beyond the immediate moment. Daily rituals of reflection, visioning, and alignment create a fearless foundation that sustains long-term growth. In conclusion, fearlessness is maintained not through occasional bursts of bravery, but through consistent daily habits that reinforce courage, resilience, and presence. Morning reflection, deliberate exposure to discomfort, physical discipline, mindfulness, journaling, affirmations, preparation, social alignment, continuous learning, gratitude, and purpose-focused rituals are the cornerstones of fearless living. These practices compound over time, transforming fear from a controlling force into a guide, from a limitation into a catalyst for growth. Commit today to integrate at least one of these habits into your daily routine. Each small, intentional action strengthens your courage muscles. Each step compounds, creating momentum. Fear is not eliminated, it is harnessed, understood, and transcended. By embedding fearlessness into your daily life, you create a self-reinforcing cycle of courage, clarity, and achievement that transforms not only your inner world but also the reality you experience each day. Fearlessness practiced daily becomes inevitable. Fearlessness is not a momentary burst of courage. It is a way of life. It is a philosophy, a guiding principle that shapes your decisions, actions, and ultimately your legacy. When you embrace fearlessness fully, it transforms how you experience life, how you impact others, and how your story is remembered. It is a lifelong journey, one that requires commitment, reflection, and relentless practice. This keynote explores how fearlessness becomes not just a habit or skill, but a defining philosophy that carries forward into your legacy. The first principle of lifelong fearlessness is living with unwavering integrity. Fearless people act according to their values and convictions, regardless of external pressures, judgment, or fear of consequences. They do not compromise their principles for comfort, approval, or safety. Integrity requires courage because it often puts you at odds with popular opinion or convenient paths, but it is also the foundation of authentic fearlessness. When your actions align with your deepest values, fear loses its power because fear thrives when we act against our true selves. Living with integrity daily strengthens your identity, confidence, and inner freedom, creating a life that is authentically fearless. Another essential principle is facing fear proactively rather than reactively. Most people wait until fear confronts them before responding, often retreating or acting defensively. Fearless individuals take the opposite approach. They seek out challenges, anticipate obstacles, and practice courage deliberately. This proactive approach turns fear into a tool for growth rather than a barrier to action. By consciously stepping into situations that might feel uncomfortable, you cultivate mastery over your mind, body, and emotions. Proactive fearlessness ensures that fear does not control your life. Instead, you control how fear shapes you. Fearlessness as a lifelong philosophy also means embracing uncertainty as an ally. Life is inherently unpredictable. Circumstances change, relationships evolve, and the future remains unknown. Fearless people accept uncertainty not as a threat, but as an opportunity for growth and creativity. They recognize that control is an illusion, and real power comes from adaptability, resilience, and resourcefulness. By shifting your perspective from resistance to curiosity, you transform uncertainty into a playground for courage. This mindset allows you to approach every situation, personal, professional, or spiritual, with confidence, knowing that your strength comes not from certainty but from your fearless capacity to act. Fearlessness is deeply connected to purpose and vision. Without a clear sense of purpose, courage can become aimless or sporadic. Lifelong fearlessness requires knowing what you stand for, what you are building, and why your actions matter. Purpose fuels resilience, determination, and the willingness to face fear repeatedly. It turns challenges into stepping stones, setbacks into lessons, and adversity into opportunity. When your life is anchored in purpose, fear becomes secondary to the mission. You act decisively, persistently, and boldly because your vision demands it. Emotional mastery is another critical component of a fearless philosophy. Fear thrives on reactive emotions, anxiety, anger, self-doubt, and panic. Lifelong fearlessness requires the cultivation of emotional intelligence. This includes observing your emotions without being controlled by them, regulating responses, and transforming negative energy into constructive action. Practices such as meditation, breathwork, journaling, and mindful reflection help you build emotional resilience. Over time, emotional mastery allows you to confront fear without being overwhelmed, maintaining clarity and composure even in the most challenging situations. Another defining element of lifelong fearlessness is service and contribution beyond self-interest. Fearless people do not live solely for comfort or personal gain. They seek to make an impact, lift others, and leave the world better than they found it. Fearlessness expands when your focus shifts from survival to contribution. Taking bold action in service of others strengthens courage because you act in alignment with a higher purpose. Legacy is built through fearless acts of love, mentorship, leadership, and innovation. Every brave decision you make in service of a greater cause compounds over time, leaving a mark that transcends your personal life. Fearlessness is also cultivated through continuous growth and learning. Lifelong fearlessness is incompatible with stagnation. Fearless individuals consistently challenge themselves to learn, evolve, and adapt. They seek knowledge, refine skills, and expand understanding, knowing that growth reduces fear by increasing competence and preparedness. This commitment to lifelong learning fosters humility and curiosity, two traits essential for navigating life fearlessly. Each day becomes an opportunity to stretch, improve, and rise above limitations, reinforcing the fearless philosophy. Building fearlessness into daily rituals and habits is essential for sustaining it across a lifetime. Courage is not an abstract concept, it is a lived practice. Daily rituals, such as reflection, mindful presence, physical discipline, deliberate exposure to fear, affirmations, and gratitude, create a self-reinforcing cycle of fearlessness. These habits, repeated consistently over years, transform your mindset, reactions, and behavior. Fear becomes less a barrier and more a tool, a signal guiding you toward growth and opportunity. A philosophy of fearlessness is only sustainable when it is anchored in disciplined daily action. Another critical principle is resilience through adversity. Fearless living does not mean life is without challenges or pain. It means responding to adversity with courage and composure. Lifelong fearlessness requires embracing setbacks as lessons, persisting through hardship, and using obstacles as opportunities for transformation. The fearless do not wait for ideal circumstances, they thrive despite them. By developing resilience, you create a foundation for courage that withstands external pressures and unpredictable events, ensuring that fear never becomes a permanent roadblock. Finally, embracing lifelong fearlessness is about leaving a legacy. Fearless people are remembered not merely for accomplishments, but for the courage, integrity, and influence they displayed throughout life. By acting boldly, Leading by example and inspiring others, you create ripples that extend far beyond your personal sphere. Legacy is the ultimate proof of fearlessness, how your choices, actions, and philosophy shape the world, empower others, and endure beyond your lifetime. Fearlessness as a legacy is not about grandeur, it is about impact, influence, and the courage to live authentically. In conclusion, lifelong fearlessness is a philosophy, a way of approaching life that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. It begins with integrity, proactive courage, and embracing uncertainty. It is reinforced by purpose, emotional mastery, service, continuous growth, disciplined habits, resilience, and vision for legacy. Fearless living is not the absence of fear, it is the conscious choice to act despite fear, to grow through discomfort, and to leave a meaningful impact. Today, commit to living fearlessly, not as a temporary act, but as a lifelong philosophy. Anchor yourself in purpose, embrace challenges, cultivate habits that reinforce courage, and step forward daily despite fear. Each decision, each action, each moment compounds into a life defined by courage, clarity, and influence. Fear is inevitable, but fearlessness is a choice. Choose it consistently, intentionally, and relentlessly. When you do, you create a life that not only achieves your highest potential, but also inspires others to rise above their fears. Your courage becomes contagious, your actions create ripples, and your story leaves a legacy that endures. Fearlessness, lived daily and embraced fully, transforms not just your life, it transforms the world around you.